is not effective without self-leadership. I made this statement way back in the 1980s because I realized that you cannot lead anybody else unless you can first lead yourself, of course. Whose responsibility is it for the learning in this session? Is it my responsibility or your responsibility? It's your responsibility, isn't it? Now, so I talk about self-leadership. People go, is that not selfish? So since I've worked with airlines, I like using airline metaphors. We've all had this experience, yes? Has everybody traveled on an aeroplane, yes or no? Has anybody not, just in the 21st century, has anybody not traveled on an aeroplane? Okay, great, we've all had this experience. So you know this experience. This is the economy experience, all right? And you sit down and you put your bits of whatever in the seat front pocket, and you've done the whole thing about putting your bags in the overhead locker, and you put on your seatbelt perhaps, and then the steward or the stewardess comes out and they give you this spiel. If you go on Singapore Airlines, they say the same thing every time. They read it. Doesn't matter how many times they've flown, they read it, and they say, should the oxygen mask fall from the ceiling, place the mask over your nose and mouth before assisting others, even children. You all remember this, yes? How many thousands of times have we heard it? I mean, I travel every week. I hear it a lot. Let's put this to the test. Who's got children? Anybody here got children? I've got children. A lot of you got children. So imagine now, we're at a long-haul flight. We're sitting here, whatever row this is. We've got that horrible aisle seat, and we get kicked by the trolley as it goes past. But then on a long-haul flight, there's a sudden bang. All right? The plane shakes. The lights flicker, smoke suddenly appears in the cabin. The oxygen masks do drop from the ceiling. Do you put it over your nose and mouth, or do you assist the child? Oops. They're wasting their time. But why? What is the intentionality? Why do they say, put over your nose and mouth first? Why? Why?
So that I can assist my child. If I'm not alive, how can I assist?
Yeah, if you're dead, you can't help your child. It's that simple. We have to, it's not selfish to make sure we're okay first. And the work that I do, shows that self-leaders make better team members. It's not, because if you've got your stuff together, you are a better contributor to others. Otherwise, you're needy. Make sure you've got your oxygen. And talking to a room full of HR professionals who have, yesterday you went through 8 hours of change process. Did you get change fatigue yesterday? Even if you're not running a change program, you would have had change fatigue from yesterday. And working with HR leaders, they're always telling me, I'm exhausted. I've just run 50 change programs in the last 2 years. Where's your oxygen? So let's have a look at that. A lot of what is spoken about in leadership is actually management, all right? And leadership, of course, well, maybe not of course, maybe you don't even think about it this way. I think, and see if you agree with me, I think that the function of leadership is not to create more followers. I think the function of leadership is to create more leaders. Who agrees with me on that one? All right? You're thinking about it, right? Management, of course, is to create more followers. We're born to follow. We are born, and within 5 minutes of our birth, we're given a name, an ethnicity, a nationality, maybe a religion, and possibly a football team to follow. Right? We're talking about being born into a culture. And then we might spend the rest of our lives defending that culture, regardless of whether we had anything to do with it or not. So actually, leadership is about empowering people to be leaders, to be self-leaders.